here as well, playing about 5 extra champions than EasyHoon so far this split. But we are going to jump straight into Champ Select, as Vici will be on our blue side for Game 1. WE on the red, as Aurelia banned away from 957 first up. And it is going to be the Vladimir, of course, banned away from EasyHoon.
Should be fairly staple bans for WE on this red side. I'm curious if we'll see Talia hit the ban list. She was played yesterday by EDG to a lot of success, Scout looking brilliant on the champion, and she was also very heavily targeted out in the previous series.
And it's interesting because we've seen Talia be one of these picks in response to things like Malzahar or that Vladimir in the mid lane that want to be very oppressive, shoving you out, getting you underneath your turret. And of course her wave clear is so fantastic with that Q. Haven't seen it picked into many other things personally, and we'll see whether it's going to make a showing here today. It's Gangplank, the final ban against 957.
I like the fact that Coach Ohm is giving respect to the Gangplank, banning that away. It is a flex pick for both Xie and 957. It's a champion he's very comfortable on, particularly in that top lane. And I think that a lot of teams overlook the Gangplank, so it's nice to see that Vici nipping that one in the bud.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams actually overlook 957 and his impact as well. Has 2 bans flying at him, or 1.5. Is that what you call it when it's a flex pick? I don't know, maybe even 3. But Vici now with that first pick opportunity. The Braum is available. They want to go for that safe pick. Hecarim's up as well. Shen is available. Let's see what these guys want to do.
A lot of easy priority picks. Typically we've seen Gragas or Braum.
Yeah.
There's also the 80 carry route if they want to prioritize that Kog'Maw, which has risen up to first pick a lot of the time.
At the moment, Lung going to look at the horse and locks it away straight away here for Dandy. Of course, Dandy, a player that loved to play the Hecarim irrespective of which lane he was playing in. Hecarim towards the top side of the map was pretty good as well.
And usually that should show Team WE's hand to pick away the Shin, because you don't want to give that combo away. Shin definitely a comfort pick for long.
Yeah.
But instead they're going kind of the other direction. They're picking up the Braum, which is a great answer to the Gragas if that Hecarim does stay in the top lane, as well as pulling away that Sivir, so not able to augment Hecarim's damage with On the Hunt.
And Mystic as well has been favoring this Sivir quite a lot. Played it 12 times so far this split. His most played champion. Now Dandy and EasyHoon, their turn to pick things away. And I actually don't mind it out of WE sort of leaving up that Shen Hecarim combination, because we saw RNG beat that combo twice.
We've also seen EDG use the Skarner pick as a counter to Hecarim. If Hecarim flies into your backline, Skarner just ults him and pulls him out.
It's like, no. You please leave.
You come over here.
Well, Karma's actually being hovered at the moment. Possibly for EasyHoon, possibly for Caveman, as Dandy locks away the Shen. So it looks like they are going to go for that Shen Hecarim combination, and that's the Alistar. So big power picks now for all of these players, but not a whole lot of damage so far. And we'll see what EasyHoon and Endless are going to be playing in order to augment all of this CC.
But they already have a ton of backline dive threat. Alistar's headbutt pulverize combo. Hecarim again flying into that backline with Shin and Toe in tandem. So I think that Team WE almost need to pick the Gragas here to have some sort of reliable reset.
Well, we'll see what Condi is going to go towards. Of course, we didn't even mention the fact that it's Dandy versus Condi. Prince of Thieves versus the Son of Baron. We'll see whether that Baron pit is going to become a point of focus for both of these sides that do like to get to that late stage of the game.
I think Condi needs to change his name, though, to Son of Dragon. His Baron steals have not been on point as of lately.
Yeah. Well, he has actually been able to steal away a lot of those dragons. You are correct.
Much better.
Son
on
of
the
Baron sounds a lot better than Son of Neutral Objectives, though. You know, I don't really like that one as much.
Son of Blue Buff.
Well, that is going to be the Karma locked in. Xie could potentially be playing it, and there's Condi on the Gragas, exactly like you were saying.
And again, it's just that they really needed the strong disengage factor there. Again, Team WE, they like to play with zone control. Karma and Gragas are going to do that beautifully, and now it's just about leveling up Mystic into that 3-item power spike and just making sure that he has a team in front of him, because if Sivir's there late game, massive damage output on an AoE scale.
Exactly right. Now going to have so much protection with what? Gragas Braum for all of the CC, as well as the AoE shields and movement speed coming out from Xie's Karma. He's looked very comfortable on the champion in the past. Of course, it was a playoff threat that WE really used to launch themselves through midway through this year. We'll see whether they're going to be able to use it once again as we move towards the playoff time. But Endless, understandably, going to be taking away the Kog'Maw, and there is Victor for Easy Hoon.
So we just talked about how Sivir is so potent and powerful into that late game. Obviously, no one can compete with Kog'Maw, but it's about now acting around those cooldowns. So Kog'Maw is a god for 10 seconds. While his W is up, he is going to destroy teams. But when his W is down, that's when it's Sivir's time to shine because she's going to be a more consistent, sustained damage threat.
It certainly is, and a little bit safer as well, as you are able to stand and smack on that front line and those ricochets. We've said it so many times, but it's still so important to mention.
And then it's a very different setup about the front line in front of them. So Hecarim, Shin, and Alistar, yes, they all have tools where they can create space for the Kog'Maw, but 9 times out of 10, Vici's going to send them into the back line to just destroy everyone. You have a long-range reach with Victor. Whereas Team WE, it's more about just moving around Mystic and creating that bubble for him. So we'll see if Vici's backline dive threat can assassinate Sivir, or if Sivir's bubble will keep her alive long enough to out-damage Kog'Maw's W cooldown.
Yeah, and I feel like Vici have this sort of, I guess, linear approach to this. It's like dive in with Dandy, throw Lung on top of him, get towards that backline, and then have Easy Hoon follow up with long-range damage, as well as the Chaos Storm, AoE everywhere. Endless stands there, and he's going to be a sit-and-spit turret, whereas a lot of flexibility from WE. And we'll see whether it works, ladies and gentlemen, as we hop into game number 1, Vici versus WE. Thank you very much, Dandy. And here we are, game number 1 between Vici and WE. First dragon is going to be that mountain, relatively coveted. We'll see whether we are going to have any early attempts.
No.
Yeah, probably not. As Vici and WE move on to the map.
It's Vici and WE. Vici, the patient, cerebral team. WE, relying on their ability to 5v5, or relying on the point of the game where everyone gets to group up. There's never going to be a quick. Doesn't matter if that's an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you look at these compositions, too, you have Hecarim in the jungle. Typically likes to kind of sit back, passively farm to level 6, get his big itemization. You have Kog'Maw looking for that 2-item power spike before he hyperscales into late game off the Blade of the Ruined King. You've got Sivir looking for 3 items of her own. We're not going to see anything for at least 15 minutes.
I'm looking at WE's comp, and I do like the level 6 out of this team. I mean, probably not for Karma, because she gets a R button very, very early on, but 957 with the Equalizer could actually impact the map rather early, and WE have been stepping up when it comes to the early game.
And we're also talking about level 6. You then also have to look at Vici's composition. Obviously, you've got the Hecarim, you have the Shin combo. That's fairly obvious how you want to pull that one off. So we'll see if Rumble, Hecarim, and Shin all clash somewhere on the bottom side of the map, or if there's going to be a tension page at the top side to get someone ahead or behind.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, you can see standard lanes are going to ensue. Endless and Caveman taking down these Krugs. It is going to be the Gromp being taken away first by Mystic and Zero. Dandy on his blue buff, beginning his onslaught of the jungle. And one thing can be said for Dandy, it's the fact that he's been able to farm himself like no other jungler, especially in his last series against OMG. Really powerful stuff from the man. Also
very comfortable on Hecarim from his days as a top laner.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a lot of experience on that champion.
Wow, Mystic.
Some fast and furious trading.
Yeah, loses out on that trade as Bioarcane Barrage. Pretty big deal for Endless.
Difference, though, is that Endless popped his pot, whereas Mystic still has his available. So technically has, what, 150 health sitting in the back for him?
Yep, and of course has the Biscuit as well, so it's instant. I believe, what, 30-odd health you can get from using that one. And Warlord's Bloodlust going to help him on every single attack. He looks to get back up to full. But Caveman and Endless now have a good position on this wave, so they can play relatively back, farm themselves up.
But right now, every single wave shoved forward for Team WE. Typically, they do this to open up space for Kondi to find an isolated 1v1. He's in a decent position as Gragas, but we normally see this when Kondi has a power pick like Elise.
I actually really like it out of WE, though, because, of course, we haven't spoken about how this laning phase is going to go. And if, you know, Condi wants anything, it's space around his jungle. And with all of these pushing lanes, WE will be able to create the pressure.
Dandy, this is very brave. So he's doing this with the knowledge that Condi is on the bottom side of the map and is now rotating towards the top side.
He just body slams his way over. Is going to be seen as Dandy says, well, no.
Dandy trying to play with timings a little bit, see if he can catch Condi, but to invade like that when every single wave is pushed against his laners means that he is caught out, that they're going to easily collapse on him. So, kind of a gamble.
It certainly is. It's now 957, makes his way back in, has put a cheeky ward down that spotted Dandy. And EasyHoon, he's going to get snared. In goes Condi with a flash body slam. EasyHoon flashes, but first blood goes to Xie. All too easy for the WE mid laner.
We warned them of the birthday buff.
Exactly.
Xie taking down EasyHoon in the first blood, almost getting the 1v1 with a nice flash belly bop assistance from Condi there. But more importantly is that the gold stays in the lane.
It certainly does. And now Caveman fighting Condi here with this Krug. Zero moves over and says, come on. He's the jungler. He's supposed to be taking this one. Caveman going to move back towards the bottom side now, unable to impact the counter jungling of Condi.
Slight chips already as we take a look at Xie's itemization. Already has his chalice available to him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the Athenes picked up by these Karmas in the mid lane.
Which just goes back to this idea that the composition is revolving around Mystic here, so trying to empower more of the supportive side of Karma.
Yeah, and I do like it. Xie, of course, now can play relatively aggressively there in the mid lane. Can still go for this more augmentation flavor. He shields himself and runs forward. Nice timing on that one too, as the Death Ray just going to take away the shield and nothing else.
Good news for EasyHoon is that he still has his Ghost available for him, though. Bad news is he's that much farther away from his Hex Core itemization. We talked about this at length yesterday. Is on 6.14, Victor's itemization was adjusted to 1250.
Yeah.
As I say that, though.
Yeah, not going to get snared as the gravity field flies down.
And what that does is it delays Victor's ability to wave clear as efficiently as you would expect him to by about 2 to 3 levels. And so him being put down from level 1 just delays that even further.
And takes away his control of this lane as well, as Xie has been shoving forward very aggressively. 957 doing the same thing towards the top side of the map. As you can see, both of our top laners going back to base, buying some items, and then moving back up. Nice Spectre's Cow purchase here for Long, who will have a much better time now that that item has been picked up. And Mystic just farming things out. Boomerang Ricochet, pretty good combo. Xie going to throw down a lot of damage onto EasyHoon here. Gets stunned up, but look at EasyHoon's damage that he's taken. Ghost has to be used as Xie tanks up a turret shot.
Here comes Rumble.
Oh, he's looking for it.
Yep, he was spotted out by the pink ward in that brush, but again, 957 does have his ultimate.
And EasyHoon actually hanging around here as pink ward is going to be cleared by 957.
He found the culprit.
He did. Oh, cute. Xie takes away the little raptors.
What's cool is across the board, Team WE actually being incredibly proactive with trying to snowball this. We kind of suspected that they would sit back in their lanes. It would be the same old Team WE story, farm until 35 minutes, wait for Mystic to come online, then group up and go. But it's just these slight things. Condi's attention and focus around the mid lane to get Xie ahead. Rumble shoving forward in his lane and trying to get a sneaky equalizer on mid lane.
Yeah.
It's not paying off, but it's good to see these proactive movements and decisions around the map.
And forcing Vici to play reactively as well, meaning that WE can continue their pressure, stop Vici from playing their style of League of Legends, as now they're looking to try and steal away this blue buff. Doesn't reset, as Condi's going to be able to pick that one away. Now they have the timer as well.
And I really like the priority on playing towards the top side of the map. Because they're against a Shin and a Hecarim, it's advantageous to play towards Shin side, just because you know exactly how many people are going to show up to that fight, as opposed to playing cross-map and getting punished by the Stand United or the Teleport.
Yeah. 957 is still in control of this lane as he overheats, clears out all of those creeps. Long now waiting. We'll see whether he goes in for a Shadow Dash to try and trade with the Rumble. Not give him a chance to throw down his Scrap Shield. Doesn't actually have to, as he just sidesteps. Zero continuing his plaguing of the enemy jungle. Does have a lot of vision down here as well.
Yep, getting those deep wards, making sure that they're keeping tabs on Dandy. Although, like you said, Dandy doing a good job just continuing to farm himself. He's behind Condi slightly, but Condi's also gotten to hang around more in his lanes as opposed to just his jungle.
Yep. The moment has cleared out the bottom side as the blue buff is going to go over to Xie. The Athenes is already there, so it doesn't need it for the mana regen at the moment. It certainly would like the extra cooldown reduction will be to the tune of approximately 30%. And it's very important for Karma. Throw out so many Qs.
Exactly, such low cooldowns already on her base abilities. She's already punishing this lane, although EasyHoon does have his ghost back, or excuse me, his flash back available. His ghost about to come up.
Oh my goodness, and EasyHoon gets chunked by that Mantrid Q. I would like to see Xie auto-attacking more. My favorite thing about Karma, the fact that you can reset your mantra cooldown by just hitting people.
Doesn't necessarily need to get that close to EasyHoon. Doesn't want to get into range to trade against his Q. Obviously just wants to use her speed to try to dodge the laser. And he can continue to play this whittling game because EasyHoon, again, due to the increased cost on his Hex Core, had to come back to lane without any biscuits, which means that Xie gets to continue to trade health for poke here, and EasyHoon just has to take it.
Whoa, and there's the equalizer, actually. 957 doesn't quite get it in the spot he wants, and EasyHoon wanders out of the way.
And there's that ghost, so just came back off of cooldown and now burned again defensively.
Xie utilizing his shield, trying to catch up to EasyHoon, who's desperately trying to farm underneath this turret. Condi looking for Dandy one more time. Won't be able to steal the Gromp. Doesn't find the body slam either as he gets launched on by the Hecarim. There's the ultimate. Stands United comes in as Condi just going to get rid of the Hecarim Lung. Will he be able to flash to get in range of this Shadow Dash? Decides not to go for it as 957 does turn up. Throws down the Flame Spitter, and that's going to be that.
And that's 2 key ultimates used on Condi, which means that Zero and Mystic have full reign to be as aggressive as they want on the bottom side of the map, knowing that Shin isn't coming.
Yeah, good news. The bottom lane of Vici, though, is the fact that we have even CS for the Kog'Maw and the Sivir. So Endless hasn't been pressured too much in what could have been a difficult lane. Xie just launches himself towards EasyHoon one more time, gets the snare, throws down an easy Q, and gets the Chaos Storm for free. There's the flash. Oh, flash answered instantly by EasyHoon. Good move. Now Lung and 957 battling. Nice Q lands from Xie, and EasyHoon once again has to leave.
Just battered and bruised and forced out of this lane. Continuously Xie winning these trades out, using his shields, making sure that he can absorb the death ray damage.
Yeah.
And then chaining him down, gravity field trying to come down to interrupt the CC, but it's not fast enough for the Q.
And it's just showing how comfortable Xie is on this champion as well. He was the original Karma mid player. He was the man that sort of brought it here to the LPL. Still looking fantastic.
And so far, all of this pressure that Xie has been able to create in the mid lane has then leaked into Dandy's jungle, and now you're seeing level discrepancies across the board. Condi level 8 to Dandy's, he's just now turned level 8, but was level 7, and EasyHoon level 8 to Xie's level 9.
Yeah, and Xie continuing to shove out here as well, as we'll see what he's going to purchase when he goes back to base. Boots of Lucidity makes some sense to me. It might go for something more aggressive. That's a needlessly large rod.
That is definitely more aggressive.
Yes.
Do I want boots or do I want...
Well, it's that rule, isn't it? It's the 1250 rule. It's like I'm a mid laner, I've gone back, I've got 1250 gold.
While I'm here.
Yeah, I'm going to get a pink stick right now. That is what's happening. It certainly does. Love the Rabadon's death cap as well. Double dealing as far as utility and damage is concerned. He's now able to clear out these waves even faster. Another Q back off cooldown almost instantly by the looks.
But there's that perfect timer on the blue buff. And like you said, Team WE moving in to contest this one. They've got their pink wards laid down, as well as some, not going to call it super deep, but some offensive vision.
957 as well. He's hit level 9, which is a big power spike for the Rumble. Full points in that Flame Spitter. Able to really affect fights in an AoE sense. Now looking for that level 11 for the powered up equalizer.
This is going to be a fight though. Team WE are also pulling Zero to join them, so this is definitely a mismatch as now Kog'Maw's walking across map.
Xie looking to stop EasyHoon from making his way in. There's the Mantrid Q as he gets the Stand United on top. Dandy actually launches his way across and Xie caught out of position. Good equalizer though, and EasyHoon able to lock down the kill in the end. Chaos Storm doing a whole host of work as Condi has to flash his way out as Lung. One auto or Winter's Bite away and he gets stunned. There's the flash Shadow Dash though, and Condi's going to get cleaned up. Caveman grabbing that kill, and that's exactly what you said. That bottom lane joins them. Not a lot that they can do.
Big key difference, Mystic heading back towards the bottom, so late on the rotation. And yes, Kog'Maw didn't get there in time, but Caveman did. Team WE being a bit telegraphed, you know, contesting that blue buff every single time. And Vici, they finally have had enough.
Yeah. Vici now looking for this red buff as well. As Headbutt Pulverize goes down onto 0. Doesn't take too much damage, but does have to give up this buff. With Condi dead, no chance of stealing that away.
Much cleaner play from Vici. See if they can stabilize now.
Well, they're going to have to. Still, massive CS lead here for Xie in the mid lane, but with a kill going over to EasyHoon, it's meant another upgrade on that Hex Core, which is definitely good. If you can go back, you can spend that 750 gold to pick up that item. You're feeling a lot more effective and efficient in this build. As Caveman finds 0. They're just going to thwack each other. Door versus Hoof.
Contesting for the red buff. They do have a TP advantage here. Long doesn't have Stand United or his Teleport Summoner, so if Team WE want to be hyper-aggressive around this buff contest, they can pull Rumble.
Xie is going to be able to walk over as well. Pings go out onto exactly where the Rumble is, as Condi unable to get the Smite Steal. Dandy able to lock that one up. It's Endless and Caveman back here towards the bottom side, and Mystic just shoving things out. Essence Reaver done, but Wit's End is there for Endless at the same time.
Has to be super cautious, though. Xie has now just disappeared from mid lane. Of course, he's going to pick up his own blue buff, but there definitely has to be a lot of respect from Caveman and Endless. They can't go on the offensive in this 2v2.
Especially when Xie can move around so fast as well. I mean, only has those brown bags, but with the E, able to speed himself up, get himself wherever he needs to go. It's EasyHoon now with a lot of wave clear, able to shove this wave towards Xie, opposed to it being the other way around.
There's actually planning a dive onto the top side of the map. It is a bit difficult to dive Rumble, especially when he has his Equalizer available. As I say that, though, he throws it early to try to clear the wave.
Yeah, Will, not able to get the cannon creep, but the tower deals with that, and Vici get thwarted.
Yep, and that's the big thing, is that he diffuses the play that Vici were trying to make. Again, EasyHoon getting the initial shove on Xie since he walked out to pick up his blue buff, disappeared towards the top side of the map.
Actually finds EasyHoon there as well. Gets himself a shield on the Q, so it doesn't take too much damage, but it's still a lot as WE looking for this first Mountain Drake. They are still ahead, not by a lot though. As moving away from their lanes does mean that Vici closed that gold gap almost completely, but objectives will be over to WE. And that outer turret in the mid lane, dangerously low health for Vici.
But just very clean cross-map play and recognition from Team WE. Vici, you're heading top lane. You need to use the ultimate defensively to clear the wave, diffuse any sort of dive that they're making there. Now that Dandy's top side of the map, let's move, let's take this Mountain Dragon and continue to whittle them down.
Yeah. Next one's going to be an Infernal Drake as well, so WE probably going to be looking towards that one.
This is much more the playstyle that we expect out of Team WE. Not so much the hyper-aggressive contesting every single blue that we had seen in the very beginning of this game. I like the proactive moves, but it's nice that when that fails, Team WE will just kind of rest back on the tested standard.
Yeah, and they did look a little bit like they were trying something that, you know, didn't necessarily fit their playstyle. Now 957 will burn down some of these creeps with that Flame Spitter and does so quite easily. Xie continues to shove minions here in the mid lane. As remember, this match means a heck of a lot for Vici. WE do have an opportunity to try things out, and it does look like they're doing exactly that.
Bit of a momentum game for Team WE.
Yeah.
They've been a bit up and down, hit and miss. You know, there was a moment there where are they clearly the second best team in the LPL after taking down RNG before then falling in the following. Wow, can't speak tonight. I'm done.
The really interesting part about this, though, is if WE actually beat Vici here, then they dodge them in the playoff run. Which is quite odd, just because they will be able to then benefit from a potential, I guess... Vici will then be able to benefit from the momentum moving out of this game if they can then take down either Newbie or Invictus Gaming in their first set.
Mm-hmm. Although mid lane.
Yeah, Condi going to get shielded, run forward. They're just looking to solidify this turret and do so very easily thanks to Xie's early work. So finally, does fall down. Now 1,000 gold the lead for WE.
Yep, finally pulling the trigger and just brute forcing that tower down with the threat of Gragas. They can now choose if they want to move down into the bottom side of the map or the top side. Obviously, moving down to the bottom side does come with the risk that you're dealing with Hecarim Shen.
Well, speaking of Hecarim, he's going to be spotted out there by Condi, who just clears out the vision that's there. Xie, I believe, unseen, moving down towards the bottom side. 957 still dealing with Lung. Shadow Dash does come across. And Long winning this trade now with his Tiamat.
And it's important that Long is winning the trade because he's trying to chunk out 957 before a possible engagement bottom side. And here we go.
Yeah, there's a stand united. They do take the turret, but Mystic now shielded up by Xie. Gets feared, but Dandy's so low. Mystic picks up the kill, and now Long can't quite do it. Equalizer right on top. As Lung gets slowed down, has to flash. Caveman's going to get snared and destroyed as the double kill comes in for the WE80 carry. Condi going to get cleaned up on the backside, but 957's found them. Harpoon lands onto EasyHoon. He's slowed, destroyed. Triple kill now as Mystic flashes for the Quadra and will pick it up.
Disaster, a 19-minute Quadra kill on Sivir. We talked about how Team WE, they like to play it slow, get their hyper carry and Mystic up to 3 items, and then run someone over. Getting a Quadra kill this early is just going to speed up this game.
Not to mention the global goal that they just managed to pick up. 3,000 now the lead from nothing 3 minutes ago, and an inner turret will fall down in the wake of this at the same time. Disaster for Vici, but so clean from WE.
And that's the difference of having your mid laner there and readily available. EasyHoon not taking that teleport, isn't able to follow Xie safely, is late to the fight.
Yeah, and we'll have a look at how it went.
So again, check out where EasyHoon is on your map. He's making his way down there, so already this is a 4v5. Again, Vici's composition, they have so much backline dive and threat, but the problem is, and we talked about this in Champion Select, is Endless on this Kog'Maw. He's already out of the team fight. He's already running home. Why is it a Quadra kill? Because Endless is back in the Nexus waiting for his team. Yeah. Because if all of his front line dives onto Team WE, there's nothing to zone for this Kog'Maw. So as soon as that happens and they don't find the kill on Mystic, who's on your screen now, it's done. The fight is lost.
Well, it certainly felt that way. Now Condi misses the ultimate actually as he's trying to get away, but the headbutt pulverize comes in. The exhaust is down. This is one very dead Gragas, and the kill looking to go to EasyHoon, and he picks it up.
Still trying to get that blue buff.
Yeah.
That has been the bane of Team WE's existence this series.
Attempting to try and steal blues. Well, next time a fight breaks out, hopefully Endless can be there. Might be his turn for a Quadra kill around the blue. There's now EasyHoon and Caveman say, well, if we've got another one here towards the top side, we'll take it. It's 957 once again, ults the wave, but they're still going to potentially go for this dive. We'll go straight underneath the turret. There's the stand united by Lung to keep Caveman alive. Ultimate's there, and Lung's able to pick that one up all too easily. 2
clean picks from Vici, and it'll surely mean the tower as well. In response, Team WE, they just need to fight around Mystic. He's got 2 massive items right now. He's a very strong Sivir. So unless he's in the team fight, Team WE need to show Vici a bit more respect. Pump the brakes a bit.
Not to mention the fact that now you've got Xie with that Rabbidan's Death Cap, so doing a lot of damage to this turret here in the mid lane as he's pushed up to the inhibitor right now. It's Kog'Maw taking down the top outer turret, but what are Vici going to lose is half health already on this inner turret bot side. Zero is tanking up that turret for a while as Xie makes his way in. There's the ultimate. Dandy dodges out of the way, but will get snared. Mystic gets his 5th kill. Now going to take down the turret and look for more as On the Hunt has been popped. WE with so much movement speed and flexibility.
And it's just so much easier when they're playing around where they're actually strong, which is in Mystic's hands. It's nice to see the 80 carry and bot duo from Team WE continue to step up in a region that's so stacked with talent.
Yeah, and we've been talking about Mystic and the fact that he has gotten bigger and bigger over this split. And it's still seeming to work out for WE as they're looking for this Infernal Drake and will be able to take that one away. So Mountain Infernal now for WE and another Mountain to come up. So pretty massive dragons this game.
I think there's a very healthy spot in kind of the 3 different types of 80 carries.
Yeah.
Is that you have someone like Imp, Uzi, and Deft, and they're going to be the superstar 80 carries. They will make the play, they'll flash forward, they'll get that crazy outplay, the miracle 1%, they'll make it happen consistently. Then you have the other spectrum of 80 carries, someone like Xuan Xuan P or Endless, where if you set things up for them, sometimes it'll work out.
And they'll do their
sometimes
job,
it won't.
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if if Endless
sort of.
is 5-0, you would hope that, yes, he will step up and he will carry, but it's kind of a 50-50. Sometimes you put all of that gold, all of that power onto him, and it doesn't really equate to anything.
Yeah.
Mystic is like right in the middle. He's not going to be that superstar playmaker that'll hit the miracle, but if you do give him gold, 100% he'll step up. If you make or set up the dominoes, he will knock them down.
Most certainly will. Now, actually, Xie's going for Leandri's Torment. He's looking to try and clear this backline. They're not going to get this out of turret, but do a lot of damage to it on the side of Vici. Dandy was looking for a possible flank. There's now Rift Herald is being pinged out. Standing on top of the Rift Scuttler, though, so a lot of vision here for Vici. Is out of turret on the bottom side going to be the next option. 5 turrets to 1 is WE's score, as they currently have a 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah, but Vici did not respect the building wave on the top side of the map, so they're going to get some decent chip damage here, and again, they can always collapse back to that Rift Scuttler. As long as Team WE are playing around Mystic and where he is on the map, it's creating that defensive bubble, they will win.
Yeah, that pressure point. It does seem like Vici are reacting to it as well, as 957 here on the bottom side does have teleport, can answer any push. This Caveman's here with Endless trying to clear out this wave. Thankfully, Renan's Hurricane is there with the Wit's End for Endless, so can clear out waves quite quickly. As Dandy's going to play us some sick metal as he heads back home.
There's really nothing else he can do at this point.
Just play metal.
I think they're incredibly reliant on a flank, as opposed to setting a line of scrimmage and just trying to run through the Equalizer, the Karma Slow, and the displacement cask from Gragas. It's really important that Dandy and Long are able to come from the side or come from behind.
At the moment, they do have that available. Onslaught of Shadows is there. Stand United is there. Long can even teleport in if he needs to. Although not going to get cancelled out of that ultimate up against a Rumble, who doesn't have that hard CC. Now Tower going to get pressured. Harpoons miss. The wave is cleared thanks to the dash cannon. And that Infinity Edge is so close for Mystic. Leandri's Torment for the 3rd item, so close for Xie. They are really starting to hit their spikes. There's even a Spirit Visage completed on Condi. Glacial Shroud there as well. We'll see whether it's the Iceborne Gauntlet or whether he goes for something like a Frozen Heart to be even more tanky on the side of Condi, especially when Frozen Heart, pretty useful against Kog'Maw. Relies on attack speed. As you can see, WE setting up around this Baron buff will have clear vision of the area with that Rift Scuttler.
Long slowly winning out in this 1v1 between Rumble and Shin. He itemized very well for the 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
And Vici can look to a possible split push late game, although as Rumble gets more itemization, it should just kind of turn into a wash one way or the other.
I like the fact that 957's going for the Rylai's Leandri's, though. Because if you want to cut down a tank, if that's who he's going to be against, is definitely a good option.
It's just about trying to get those items online quick enough so he can start dealing with the Shin. But for now, Shin's in a pretty healthy spot.
Yeah, most certainly is. You can see that represented by that tower falling down bot side. Endless doesn't get hit by the boomerang, but can't safely clear this wave. As WE are continuing to shove forward. And once again, it's proactive play out of this team. You can see now 957's moved to the mid lane, got that wave shoving forward. Long has to be on the bottom side of the map because that wave was heading towards them as well. Vici have to deal with every single part of this map right now. Dandy has found 957. In goes the Stand United. They're looking for the Rumble as a pick-off first, but he's moving back to his team. Condi heads over as there's the knock-up with the Glacial Fissure. WE looking to try and consolidate, get their position down, but Vici don't even want the fight anymore.
That's a big cooldown burned. The Stand United no longer available, which denies a lot from Vici. Here comes the onslaught.
Yeah, and Caveman looks for the headbutt pole, but doesn't quite find it. Good equalizer, but it's not going to be useful right now as they're getting destroyed. Lung takes down Mystic immediately, and it's Endless picking up a lot of these kills. 957 left to the Wolves. It's a triple kill now for Endless as Vici answer.
Immediately turned around, and that's what we were talking about. It's so important that Hecarim gets a flanking play as opposed to trying to run through all of the slows on Team WE's composition. And it's at the worst possible moment because they instantly turn on Baron.
Yeah, the son of Baron's got his work cut out for him right now as Condi, the last man here. Double teleports are up for when WE do respawn. He's not going to have a ward in that pit, though. And he's still looking for a Caveman. Takes a lot of damage. There's the Shadow Dash as they're looking to lock down the Gragas, and they do so. Dandy takes down the Baron, and Condi now trying to run for his life. Huge swing now for Vici.
worst possible time for Team WE.
Yeah.
They were in full control of tempo of this game and instantaneously coin flipped, shoes on the other foot.
And now we've got 3-item spikes for both of the AD carries at the same time. Endless, massive benefactor of that last fight, gets himself a Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Just straight out buys it, which is really important because the biggest issue with Rage Blade is the 2 ingredients into that item are incredibly ineffective. And so the bridging point of power for there is detrimental, puts you in a pretty disgusting trough. So to just outright buy it as a luxury item after finding a triple kill is really massive for Kog'Maw's power spike.
Most certainly is, and he deserved it as well after doing the most damage in that last team fight there for Vici. They just couldn't get on top of the Void Puppy. Now they're looking to capitalize by taking down this Dragon. Looks like WE not going to respond.
Back to the drawing board for Team WE. They need to just sit, wait out the Baron. The Baron won't end the game, but it should give Vici a good foot into the lead here. And it's now, okay, reset. What happened that team fight? Mystic instantly died. What needs to happen the next team fight? Protect Mystic.
Well, at the moment, Mystic back in base, has himself an Elixir of Wrath as well, so looking for this next team fight. 957's clearing out minions. Leandri's Torment not done for either mid or top laners. It looks like Lung on split push duty, the old 4-1 here in effect for Vici. But if Endless can get some time with his Bioarcane Barrage up, this tower will not last long. He can't quite close the gap, has to be so respectful of the explosive cast.
Well, he's also dealing across from so much wave clear and Karma, Gragas, and Sivir.
Yeah.
That the Baron buff should be slowed down quite a bit.
Condi's going to move over, looking to try and stop Lung from pushing down this inner turret, as 957 was struggling to deal with this minion wave due to the Baron buff. But Vici, given slightly more space to work on this outer on the bottom side, WE may actually have to look for some sort of engage to stop these just from organically falling down.
They can play it patient. Again, they are slowly winning. They should drop both of these towers. But again, this Baron buff is not as effective against this composition as it would be other ones.
Yeah.
Our wave clear combined.
We are Captain Planet. Vici able to get one of the inner turrets. Looks like this one will be the next one and will fall down as Endless gets himself into position, throws down the W and takes it out. So WE lose 2 of their structures, and even now is that turret count. We'll see whether Vici can get themselves ahead, because it's 3,000 gold now the lead, and that gold has well and truly swung all the way back around, as I believe WE's lead got to about 5,000. If they can get this last inner turret, could be an opportunity for them, but WE are moving up top. It won't be Vici grabbing that, as everybody else went back home.
But now with the Baron buff eventually starting to fall off, it should be near its last leg. Yeah, we're about 1/4 left. Again, it just reset mentality, reset fight. There's clear-cut win conditions for either team composition. Dandy orchestrated and engineered a beautiful flank in the last team fight to lead them to success.
He sure did. And it's been a lot on the back of Dandy as well. His Hecarim...
It usually is.
Yeah, his Hecarim was fantastic in Vici's last series against OMG. Went full tank that time. This time has his Trinity Force, so doing a lot of damage as he launches into the backline. And interestingly enough, Endless has actually decided to go for the Last Whisper on Kog'Maw. Of course, something that a lot of Kog'Maws decide to forego completely, favoring something like a Blade of the Ruined King instead, just because you do so much magic damage. Having armor penetration isn't all that much of a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't agree with the Last Whisper. I think the Blade of the Ruined King would be more beneficial here, especially if you look across at the itemization that he's facing.
Yeah. Odd choice. And she actually decided to not go with the Leandri's Torment completion. That blasting one did get turned into the Void Staff instead, so big spike here for the Karma as well.
Falling down in that big, crucial mid-game fight, meaning that he has to immediately itemize into the penetration, since Vici found a lot of free pocket gold on the back of that fight.
Yeah. Also realizing that he has to be a damage threat here as well, as Mystic was destroyed so early in that fight, which did spell disaster for WE. Now able to utilize it here against these minions as 957 just clears out the wave with his Proto Belt, burns down the rest of the minions quite nicely.
But don't be mistaken, that was certainly an execution error. Again, there are very clear blueprints for both teams to win these fights, and it's still an incredibly close and tense game. You're dealing with Victor and Kog'Maw, both low mobility carries, so if Condi gets the perfect cask, disaster for Vici. Likewise, on the other side, if Dandy can get another beautiful flank on that Hecarim and just delete Mystic out of the gate, free victory for Vici.
We did see both of these things in effect. There's now Lung pressuring this inhibitor turret, actually doing a bunch of work to it as well as 957 deals with the minion wave. Lung just tanking it up, has himself a shield, and starting to get worrying. Even with that Liandry's completed, 957 can't push out the Shen.
He can't do anything. There's also a massive level difference between them, level 18 to level 16. 957 is just trying to hang on.
And struggling to do so as well as Winter's Bite lands on Endless. Wow, that ricochet damage was ridiculous. As Unbreakable stops a bit of that death ray. Vici move out of the way. Good swing in power here for WE as they can get to work, consolidating these lanes, start pushing them out once again.
So what's cool here is, again, the compositions are pretty much 50-50, comes down to execution. Both of these teams still have very clear win conditions within the fight. What Vici really gained off of that Baron and where those swing of power is reflected in the gold lead is in the map control. And that's what Vici need to exploit now as the next Dragon and Baron are coming up, particularly that Baron. Long is already stronger in abusing 957.
Yeah.
You have so many more turrets pushed down. They need to manipulate and control the waves and try to get a cheeky burn on this Baron with the Kog'Maw speed.
All right, now Endless going to lock down some Rift Scuttler vision. It's just so cute. Ginsu's Rageblade passive, of course, what used to be formerly on the Sated Devourer, allowing a little purple version of himself to come out and kill stuff. Just think it's cute. That item, personal favorite of mine.
Trap being set up by Team WE.
Yeah.
They know that Vici will need to be moving into the area toward it.
Well, they know exactly what's going on now, does Vici, as Boomerang flies over. Dandy has his Banshee's Veil cut down, and Endless now looking to take down this dragon on his own. And will so very quickly, as you can see. That W active just launches through it, and Ginsu's means that he doesn't lose a lot of attack speed when it wears off.
Disgusting. But needs to be standing still to really maximize that damage output. And standing still against a Gragas, Karma, and Sivir, bit difficult.
Most certainly scary. As Zero moves himself over to the side, but WE have set up the trap. Dandy going down very low. Chaos Storm, decent position, but Xie picks up the kill on the jungler first. Endless doing a bunch of work on the backside as the Chaos Storm was getting things done, but Mystic, now the exhaust wears off. Long teleports his way through, fantastic spell shield, but Mystic still finds himself in the middle of this fight. He's kiting around nicely, but look at Endless's damage. Unstoppable now as the Boomerang, it's able to lock him down. Xie picks up the kill in the end, and now the Karma has to get the work done. Good flash as a Cathian Surprise isn't able to find him, but it's now 1 versus 3, and Xie's on the run from Vici Gaming. There's the flash, he gets the taunt, and Xie will fall. Vici now possibly able to look towards the Baron, but may not as they push up this way.
And Vici win another core team fight. They could try to burn the Baron just because Long is so healthy, but I think it's more so an issue that if they burn it, you're only taking the Baron on a few members rather than the entire team.
Yeah. And it just shows what happens when WE engage on someone that isn't Endless. Because a lot of their buttons were then unable to be used on the big old Kog'Maw.
A lot of their important cooldowns. Exactly. Another issue was Mystic getting shoved out to the side, not standing, or not Mystic, excuse me, Xie getting shoved out to the side, not standing next to Mystic and fighting with him.
Yeah. Well, this Baron is going to get taken, and Dandy picks that one up.
A lot of respect simply because they didn't have the Smite available, and they wait long enough so everyone across Vici's roster manages to pick up that Baron buff. So that's back-to-back core team fights that have swung the game wildly in Vici's favor.
Look at Endless now. Blade of the Ruined King was completed after that last team fight. This Kog'Maw just does so much damage. We complimented Endless on his Kog'Maw play in his game against OMG. Actually, no, it was against Aime. Fantastic game number 1 in that series. Now, once again, looking good moving into the late game. But when you've got someone peeling for you, like Dandy, like Long,
like Izuhun,
like Caveman, the whole team makes it look pretty easy.
I'm going to say Izuhun and Dandy.
Yeah.
I think they're certainly the core standing up. If 957 is the spine to Team WE, Dandy and Izuhun are the spine for Vici.
Well, of course, props need to go to Izuhun as well in that last fight. Close to really making sure that WE suffered even without the Kog'Maw, utilizing his Chaos Storm to great effect. And remember, WE, they're the ones that wanted that fight. Couldn't come out on top.
Again, failure to execute correctly in the team fights. Now the gold lead is starting to swing wildly out of control as we get closer and closer to 10K with that tower falling. So whereas once it was a very close 50-50 with Team WE really just losing control of the map, now it's very skewed within the team fights themselves as well, as we're starting to see pretty big item differences between the teams.
Yeah, and I want to look towards the top side for that one. 957 still hasn't finished his Void Staff and has a full other item slot after that to go, as Lung has 6 items. He is despicably strong at this point in the game. Warmogs, Dead Man's Plate, Spirit Visage, Guardian Angel, and a Tiamat. Like, it's Titanic Hydra, sorry. He's just ridiculously strong.
Continue to abuse and punish this Rumble. There's really nothing Team WE can do in their lane assignments there. Their only victory is through a 5v5 where Kog'Maw is deleted. Anything short of that, they will not win the game.
Yeah. Endless at the moment just taking free red buffs in the enemy jungle, wandering around, doing whatever he wants, with Caveman in tow, keeping him safe.
And what's so core is that even if Endless isn't safe and he is caught out, there's still just more win conditions for Vici on their comp right now. Easyhoon's massive, Long is massive. They don't even have to win the 5v5. They could just slowly win the split push pressure, which is what they're doing now.
Yeah. Long, you can see already all the way up to that turret. WE getting stretched thin across this map. An inside track turret to turret means that Vici can just move away, clear out mid, clear out top, have the Shen sit there annoyingly on the bottom side. WE forced to answer whichever way they can.
The answer will have to be over the Elder Drake. We call Team WE the Elder Drake team.
Yep.
But they put themselves in quite a hole to try to dig out of.
They often do. But 10,000 gold is a damn big one.
10,000 gold and against a composition that hyperscales. I believe Rusty and possibly Raz say this all the time, that Team WE are weak against Team WE. Teams that like to play into that hyperscaling late game. So things like Kog'Maw, things like Twitch, as they come back into the meta, are just an inherent nerf against WE's playstyle, and they need to respect that, and they need to either start banning them out or putting Mystic on an even bigger late game carry than Sivir.
And I think it was an oversight, sort of not looking at Endless and this Kog'Maw as a possible ban. You mentioned that it probably should be on the ban list.
We've seen other LPL teams banning away the Kog'Maw, so it's not that far out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. And speaking of which, actually consolidated that item build as well. Has a GA now instead of that Last Whisper. Decided that he didn't need it. As the Elder Drake going to be up in 8 seconds. Vici looking to take that one away immediately. Try and use it in order to break open this base.
And there's nothing Team WE can do. With Condi on the top side of the map, they've resigned themselves. We're giving this away. We're going to go full 300. The Spartans on this. We're setting up between our Nexus towers, and this is where we'll hold them.
We're going to need a shield wall, and they're going to need a really big one. Zero, of course, the only one with one of those. We'll see whether WE can make that one work. So 90 seconds now where Vici have a lot of power in that Elder Drake. Of course, remember, they picked up a lot of those last few dragons. So Mountain and Ocean can augment their ability to push, especially sustaining them through that Ocean Drake, now doing double duty.
And there's a cool story with Vici here as a team who can't quite figure out their roster, you know, the rotating door between their 80 carries.
Yeah.
Really starting to come to the end of the split and develop themselves. Vici have always been a team about development, saying that it's not about today, but it's about tomorrow, that we think that there is strength in Endless, that we're going to continue to work with him because we think that he can be the all-star that we need him to be. And so it's nice to see kind of the fruits of all of their labor come to a head here.
And it's most certainly working, as Long taking out the turret, feeling like he doesn't even mind. Nice boomerang lands onto Endless, but remember, he's got a GA. He's also got that Blade of the Ruined King. A lot of sustain here from this Kog'Maw. Not to mention that cow yelling all the time, giving him his health back.
And here comes the paper cuts.
Yeah, exactly right. Nice wave for WE is pushing out towards the top side of the map, though. Lung looking to go back, possibly answer that. It's 957 now with some respite to push out this bottom side. Void Staff is completed for the Rumble, so that is good news. Almost towards his Zhonya's. WE slowly getting their items at the same time. We need Last Whisper to be completed for Mystic, and he'll be happy. And it is going to be Zhonya's by the looks of things here for Xie. in the mid lane as that Fiendish Codex has been done as well.
And a lot of pressure just instantaneously diffused on the map.
Yeah.
All of Vici deciding that Baron spawning in 30 seconds. This will be the third Baron of the game. And just don't execute on the Elder Drake at all.
And Endless just went back, sold his boots, and got a Trinity Force. So that's pretty frightening.
I mean, he's not moving anyway, so does he really need shoes?
No. And look at his feet. I mean, how do you buy shoes for those anyway? They looks like, you know, duck feet.
I was going to say dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're going to equate him to an animal.
At the moment, it's a reindeer.
He kind of looks like a duck.
I like it.
Kind of waddles.
Oh, big deal, actually, as Mystic does have at least the last Whisper done now for this potential fight.
Both these 80 carries are massive.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the only difference is that Mystic has shoes.
And feet to put those shoes on
and
as
Endless
well.
doesn't.
Standy with his Banshee's Veil intact.
Oh, Condi. So often you've made these high-pressure plays on Lee Sin, getting that sick insec. Can you do it on Gragas? Can you find the Kog'Maw? If not, disaster.
Yeah. And we were saying that he was going to be instrumental. We thought that WE did have the answers to this composition. Vici have just been better at executing each of their team fights, and they've got 4 Guardian Angels. There's a lot of times that they need to be killed in these team fights.
Team WE need to kill them twice effectively.
Yeah.
Big thing also is that 957 should have been very influential, and unfortunately Long has just beaten him to the punch.
Vici actually just looking to keep Long towards the bottom side of the map. He's their ticket into the base as they're holding WE here around this Baron buff. What is the third one of the game. 12,000 gold in the lead.
And this is the difference in win conditions. 957 will slowly lose out to Long depending on how patient Vici want to be with this. Although, looks like they're going to just try to beat them to the 5v5.
Yeah, Barrel's going to fly
Here
through.
comes
She
both
is
of them.
over the side. Yeah, teleport's coming in. Stand United on top of Dandy as Condi gets into the pit. Doesn't steal the Baron. It's going to go to Endless, and Condi evaporates at the same time. The Kog'Maw able to eat the big purple worm as well as the Gragas in what looks like one bite.
And Condi doesn't even get his smite off. And with the jungler dead, Team WE just have to immediately evacuate the area. This will surely be at least a single inhib, possibly more.
Yeah, feels like a 9 versus 4 at this stage as well with all of these GAs. This inhibitor turret going to fall so fast to Endless. EasyHoon does a lot of damage to it as well with his Lich Bane, and the inhibitor follows suit. Not another tower to go for, apart from these Nexus turrets, and Vici are looking for it. Happy just to move in, and there's the engagement. Good equalizer placement from 957 as Zero's tanking up the Chaos Storm, but Endless safe on the backline, flashes forward, looks for 957. Good Zonya's use is going to keep him alive and flashes out of the living artillery. So another life here for WE, and they stave off Vici on their Nexus turrets.
That said, Vici have their pick of the litter if they want to go bottom or top with 2 big waves crashing forward, as well as the Elder Drake will be available in, I think, about 45 seconds before that timer appears.
Yeah. Very close, as now WE do not want to move out to this wave on the top side of the map. We know that Vici are heading back to base to grab their items. However, they do not want to move into unknown territory. As Condi and 957 deal with the bottom wave. WE have been at least holding on effectively. They've been unable to challenge for any of these neutral monsters.
I mean, pressure and onus is on Vici. You have the massive lead. You have the Baron buff, the Elder Drake. It's up to you to make a proactive decision.
Yeah.
But this is really the difference in, again, the hyper carries. Endless. If you set everything up for him, he'll carry the game. But he won't do that on his own. And I think it leads to kind of these stalls.
Yeah, and as this game is getting stalled out more and more, WE are getting towards their 6 items. The gold lead means less and less. As this inhibitor turret going down very low. Map pressure certainly does still belong to Vici. But if WE can get to that point where it's a 50-50 team fight, that definitely bodes well for them. Mystic's going to move back into this fight. Good boomerang damage flies across as Caveman finds Condi. Good headbutt pulvers. There's the equalizer, but not in a great position. Endless moving forward as Dandy throws down the ultimate, but Mystic's in a good spot. 957 tanking up the Chaos Storm, and now everyone is underneath EasyHoon's wrath. In goes Condi, finds another body slam, but there's Mystic taunted up. Massive knock up there as well as he falls down to Endless. And WE's last hope is now dashed. Another Shadow Dash comes in as Long has taken control of this fight. It's a triple kill for EasyHoon, a full house for Vici as Endless gets the last two.
And it's not even about this Cogman right now. Yes, Endless is sitting back and he's outputting the damage alongside EasyHoon, but all eyes should be on Long. We said that 957 should have the edge in this matchup. Well, Long proved us wrong and came out big.
Yeah, that Shen was so huge. And able to win out in that 1v1 where the Rumble was picked into him at the same time. This was a blind Shen, we have to remember. 957 just did not have the answer. It's exactly what the Shen Hecarim combination can do.
And you have to think that Team WE will address this in the draft phase. They won't be on red side, they will be on blue side next time. And I expect to see a Shen and Kog'Maw ban hit the bench.
Yeah, most certainly. And maybe they don't look at the Kog'Maw ban because we will most likely see a Xuan P in here as well.
We'll see if they choose to swap.
Yeah, we are going to have a look at some highlights though. As this first fight for WE really started to set them up. Mystic picking up a quadra kill was massive. We felt like it was going to be another day in the office here for WE.
But everything fizzled out on the top side of the map, and it was just one key team fight that WE lost, and it all turned to disaster because Vici immediately rotated into the Baron.
Yeah.
I believe it's this fight right here. Dandy coming across with a beautiful onslaught of shadows. And Mystic is deleted instantly.
Yeah, and Lung gets the flash Shadow Dash over the wall there as well. The exhaust goes down, and Mystic, with all of WE's money, falls down. And then they have to deal with a Kog'Maw with a triple kill.
And again, this team fight, Team WE, they think it looks good, but so much CC and cooldowns expended on just taking down the Hecarim that they've got nothing left in the tank for when the Shen shows up.
Yeah, and Lung actually just restarts this fight. Endless had completely moved out, but then heads forward, throws down the heel for the movement speed, and just kites the fight out better. Fell down in the end, but, I mean, honestly, the damage was done. As soon as Mystic was dead, he'd done his job.
Yep. Again, I don't expect to see Long get his hands back onto that Shen. If he does, I think it's a vast oversight because he's the MVP. If he doesn't get MVP, I'm actually just going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I most certainly would as well. I mean, honorable mention for Endless maybe, because he was able to get a lot of damage down on the Kog'Maw, but you're exactly right. It was all put together by that Shen. He was the one creating pressure in the side lanes, and then as soon as a fight happened, he ulted on the right targets. He got the flash Shadow Dashes on the right people, especially right there. As you saw, Mystic was torn apart. The exhaust went down, and he just wasn't able to get the damage as this hyper carry Sivir that he wanted to. And what he has done in the past as well is carry with that champion. Unable to this time.
But it's the identity of Vici. Just something that I really want to clarify is unlike a team like RNG where you look at them and you're like, okay, that's on Immolec Shi and that's on Uzi. They're the two hyper carries of this team. When you look at Vici, the carries are Dandy, Long, and EasyHoon. It's the support system there because Endless and Xuan P, I mean, a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah, and it's like they're holding a big gun, but you don't necessarily need to use it. But we are going to throw it to a short break. When we get back, we'll see whether WE can fight back against Vici.